Hey, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to another LinkedIn live event. And those of you that follow me, I love to talk about when my kids are going back to school. Well, 3 of the 4 are in school. I'm a happy man. Got my Dunkin' Donuts coffee here. And for those of you that are joining, want to talk to you about something I've spent a lot of money and a lot of time doing wrong. And what we love to talk about at the House of Bricks is how to use your failures for a competitive advantage, and not even just for you, but how you can help other people. So you're probably watching this on LinkedIn. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk to you about how I lost, and I'm not exaggerating, probably over $100,000 in the last 12 months on LinkedIn, not only investing in contractors and softwares and liking tools and automations, but just the most important asset that we all have is time. And so I want to bring a member of the House of Bricks on to talk to us today about some of the things that I did wrong and how we can potentially help you out. Michael, welcome to the House of Bricks Live. And we're going to hit the first "you're on mute," I think, on the House of Bricks Live. There we go, baby. I was thinking about that, incorporating it into my speech. I'm working on a keynote speech right now. Totally irrelevant to here, but I was going to add in there, "you're on mute." So, Michael, welcome to House of Bricks Live.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
So you and I connected a couple months ago, and you're one of the few people to ever get my cell phone number from LinkedIn, and one of the few people to ever actually have a phone call with me after I gave it out. And then, we started talking, and you ended up joining the House of Bricks, but you've obviously had a lot of success on LinkedIn. What are some of the things that we should think about first as we're getting started?
Well, I think the biggest thing I want everybody to kind of realize about LinkedIn right now is there's a 1.2 billion people, I think, on the platform, and maybe, and I think this is an exaggeration, 5% of people are active. And for that reason, I think that the biggest misconception about LinkedIn is that it's a place where you can have unlimited success and unlimited basically time and unlimited retries, because there's just so many people on the platform that you could just keep on doing the same things, like the proverbial pitch slaps forever and never run out of people. And the truth of the matter is, it's not true. And the pain and suffering of LinkedIn is probably why more and more people that I talk to are saying that they're taking a hiatus from the platform. And so you think that instead of more people coming to join the platform, more people are actually going off of it. And I always wonder, why are people doing that? And I think it's because the most people who are on this platform, they're doing it wrong. And the people that are not using the platform were never taught how to use it right, and they're just frustrated. So what you're basically seeing is a huge delta between the people that are trying to use the platform incorrectly and the people that were never taught and are frustrated with it and are leaving. And now what that creates is probably a massive issue where LinkedIn is just not as viable as it could be, because there's a lot of frustration. Like you said, time is the worst thing that keeps people away from LinkedIn. Money is not, by the way.
Yeah, and you just said the most important thing that I've never heard you say before, and I've never thought about, is people never learn how to use the platform. I guarantee 99.9% of the people have never taken a training, and yet they go onto this platform. It's like trying to, climb Mount Everest with no equipment, no training, and think you're going to reach the top while there's a billion other people climbing with you. So I view it kind of as an analogy of, without a strategy, you're really throwing a pebble in the ocean with a post and hoping the whole world sees what it is. Well, guess what? Everyone else wants to be seen also. So LinkedIn obviously has evolved in terms of its use on a day-to-day basis. I mean, I've been on it for 15 years. It was just never important to me. I was busy building businesses and exiting companies, but now building a personal brand, it's a must-have, and it does have incremental value. What do you where do people start kind of in correcting what they've done now to get to where they want to be?
Well, I think the first thing that I would tell you is in 17 years that I was on LinkedIn, when I got on LinkedIn, I had a very different MO on what it was for me. I went on and I was one of those people that was connecting with any single person that I could ever connect with, like every single person, CEO, founder. And while it was not the right strategy, I will tell you, I was way ahead of the curve because what LinkedIn is a self-fulfilling prophecy for external more than internal. So for instance, if you think about someone like yourself, there's probably a billion people that want to talk to you, your persona, who you are. He's a founder, he's a business owner, he's successful. I mean, how many sales messages do you get?
Too many.
Too many. And that's what everyone tells me all the time, which is why pitch slapping is so annoying and it has its own term. Imagine pitch slap is an actual LinkedIn nomenclature. So the thing is that I was so far ahead for the reason because by the time I got to the point where I needed to reach out to anyone that I wanted to reach out to, my network perception was so grand. I had so many people I connected to over the years. And it's a self-driving force because the more people you connect with that have that high-level title, the more people with high-level titles think they should be connected with you. So there is that self-fulfilling prophecy of, I guess I should connect with a guy that has all these other people that either A, we share in common, or B, well, he's connected to the CEO of 10 of these massive companies. How can I not accept this connection request? No one ever asks you, hey, do you know those 15 people that you just reached out to me and said, hey, we have 15 mutual connections in common? Right. How about one person sometime respond and go, great, tell me how you know these 5 people right now. Nobody does that. They'll just accept the connection and go, yeah, well, I guess we do know 15 people in common. Well, here's the secret. I have 20,000 first connections, 22,500 followers. If you ask me, and I actually, at the beginning of this year, I did something where I realized that, and it hit me. I never thought about it. Somebody reached out to me and said, hey, do you know blah, blah, blah? And I said, no, I don't. And it kind of hit me. I'm like, I don't know 99% of anyone I'm connected to because people constantly reach out to me, go, yo, man, you know all these people. Can you introduce me to John? I couldn't. I can send a message for him, but I wouldn't be introducing you because I don't even know the guy. I don't even know if I'm connected to him. And I started doing this due diligence deep dive, and I realized there's people in my network I've been connected to for 15 years. You know, people like Justin Welch, that is is the top guy on LinkedIn today. I've been connected to him since 2012. I have no idea why, but I have been. So I started doing this deep dive thinking I really am doing LinkedIn wrong. So my renaissance on LinkedIn happened within the last 8 months, but it was a grueling, painful 8 months. I think most people don't realize that LinkedIn is not a job search site. It's not a place to post jobs and hope people respond to them. It is not a place to just reach out to people and pitch slap them all day. It is an opportunity to, what you say, it's relationship capital. You have the opportunity. The best way I could say it is imagine that there's a basketball court and LeBron James is on it, Steph Curry's on it, and they're like, here's the ball. You want to go and do a pickup game? Go ahead and play with them. LinkedIn gives you the opportunity, if you know how to play with the biggest names out there.
Okay. And I'm totally tracking with you. So over the last 8 months, you've done things differently, but I'm all about feedback. Sorry, I don't have my audio guy here helping me. So there we go. I'm going to let you criticize me and tell me what I could have done better over the last 12 months. So we started the House of Bricks 12 months ago, and we knew that we had to start posting on social media. Okay. Let's just focus on LinkedIn because that's what we're talking about today. So I hired a very educated, dedicated, well-performing college graduate. And I said, here's the content we want to talk about. Go ahead and post on LinkedIn. And so I was, paying her salary, creating the content, and we were not getting anything in return. So what is that first step of delegating to someone and posting? Why is that not effective?
Well, first of all, you cannot delegate I think that before you can delegate your personality on LinkedIn, you have to have one. And most people go, all right, so you have a very uncommon problem, which hurt you, which is you have access to the capital to outsource annoying crap.
Right.
Right? Which means you don't have to do is, like, for instance, I'm as you know, I'm in Italy right now. There's a lot of people here that are just asking for things and those things are done for them. But if you ask those people, hey, do you know how that souffle or how that pasta was made? They're like, I don't care how it's made. I just care how it tastes.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't work on LinkedIn because you have to understand who you want to be. And this is the most important problem that I've seen. I did it. For the beginning of the year, I paid somebody to just go and do a bunch of LinkedIn stuff for me that went nowhere. That's where I started digging into this. If you don't know who you are, who you want to be, who you want to talk to, then you're paying someone who also doesn't know who you are, who you want to be, and who you want to talk to, which means you're paying them for something you can never actually inspect progress on because you have no clue what they're doing because you don't know how to do it.
Right.
So
okay. So
that's
that's step one, right? So delegating, right? What you don't even know what you want accomplished. And over time, she learned who I am, what we're doing, was able to write like me. We use Chat GPT. She would even fix it to make sure it sounded like me. She listened to me talk every day. So she could literally write it exactly like me. We started to define it. But what's wrong with just posting on LinkedIn? What are they missing? What's the most?
So the problem with LinkedIn, and this is the misconception. People look at my profile, your profile, and they'll go, holy crap, you got 10,000 followers. I got 22,000 followers. You should easily be able to get 1% of your network to like your posts, right? That's a lot. That's a lot of likes per day, right? 1% of 20,000 is 200 per day. You should easily get. But for some reason, it doesn't happen. Well, there's a misconception. One, every time you connect with someone, LinkedIn automatically makes them a follower. They're not choosing to follow you. They're choosing to accept your connection request. They have no clue they're following you. They don't have you in their feed. They're not clicking the bell icon to make sure they're notified when you post. If you post it and they're not on LinkedIn at that moment, they don't know you posted. Why do people keep saying in their banners, click the bell? Because they want you to follow them with intent so they can listen and see what you got to say when you post. So most people don't know this. So what do? They'll say, oh, I'm just going to get all these connections. That means they're followers. Oh, wow, look at that. I should easily be able to get followers and likes and inbound leads from my wonderful network. That doesn't happen. The algorithm does not care how many followers you have. The algorithm only rewards you for one thing, and it's no different than all the married men watching. Attention. It wants your time and attention. If you don't give it its time and attention, you could literally post a Hemingway novel every day, and it will get zero any engagement because no one cares about how good your quality content is. It cares about how much time do you spend on this platform. And like you like to say, LinkedIn is a giving place. You must give to it and to the community that you're trying to build a hell of a lot more than you ever expect to get back. And once you are consistent in giving, that's when the community will start rewarding you with reciprocity, with likes, with engagement. But that creates its own problem because LinkedIn isn't about getting the people you're connected to already to like your content. LinkedIn is about how do I get people that aren't connected with me, that have no clue who I am, to be interested in me and to come to my platform, to my profile, and to take interest in what I'm doing. That is the holy grail of LinkedIn, bringing in your second connections, the first connections, which are your second connections. That's what people miss. That is what it's all about. So the reciprocity game isn't there so you can get 200 vanity metric likes on your profile, which everybody seems to think matter. I've seen the most successful people on this platform. You and I talk about it, right? That like really successful people that are super, super successful off the platform, but their LinkedIn profiles suck. Well, you must think that they know how to make use of the people they need to speak with without having the vanity metrics alone gauge anything. So that's where I think most people fall flat, is when they outsource what you did and then that person's actions are gauged. Oh, wow. So we're getting some vanity metrics hypothetically. What do we do with them though? And that's where most people fail, is they don't know what to do once they have all those likes and engagement. And I've been part of groups where they teach that. We're going to get you 200 likes on your page. We're going to get you all of this great engagement. What do we do now systematically and strategically to convert them to conversations where they matter most, by the way, off of LinkedIn?
So I'm going to tell you what else I did, and that's all really valuable. So just to recap, don't outsource what you can't hold people to or delegate. The second is, the engagement part, right? When you post, it's not just post and leave, right? They want your attention. Okay. However, there's also a lot of, house of bricks. We're high achievers. We think we can, climb any mountain. Well, this is another mistake I make is I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to dominate LinkedIn. How does this guy have more connections than me? How's he getting 1,000 likes? He's never even had a business before. He's got 80,000 connections and his posts are getting thousands of likes. And I don't even agree with what he says, which is something else I'm going to say later. But the point I'm making is how important is consistency. So what I will do, right, is I'll get pissed off on a Friday and be like, all right, I'm going to go get 1,000 connections, leave 1,000 likes, comment on everyone's post. And then by Monday morning, I want to hang myself. So that is the stop start that I think a lot of entrepreneurs and high achievers do because they don't have the accountability, discipline. And we talk about our simple framework. The most important thing is a strategy. They don't have a strategy. They're trying to swim the Atlantic Ocean when they can't even swim a mile is really what's happening. So they burn out and they drowned and then they stop for a couple of weeks. So to narrow down the question, how important is consistency?
Consistency is the one thing that most people lack and the primary reason why most people get off the platform burnt out. And one of the things that I don't think a lot of lead gen people, LinkedIn strategists, by the way, I've seen them, I've been around them. I call myself, if you look at my LinkedIn profile on the bottom, it says my, Linea Sales Group, it'll say frictional consultant. Because I believe that in order to gain any kind of benefit from anything you do, there's got to be friction. You have to be willing to change what's wrong. And this is like the gym. LinkedIn is like the gym, right? The reason why I always call LinkedIn training boot camp is because it sucks. It's literally suck. Like the reason when you go to the gym and you pay a personal trainer, he takes the money for 10 sessions up front because he knows if he's good, you're not showing up for the second session because it's not fun, right? It is not cool. It sucks big time. And so what most people do, and I, by the way, went through this, I listened to other people. They told me what to do. I did it. And I burnt out in 3 weeks on this platform. And I mean, I've never experienced the kind of burnout that I had, where you're looking at something as simple as liking and commenting on a post as climbing Everest. So consistency, like anything you do, you can't be consistent to go to the gym on a Sunday for 3 hours. That's not actual consistency, even though technically by the definition of the word, it's consistency. The way you got to look at it is, and I think you told me this maybe a month and a half ago, you're like, I just woke up and I wanted to run 15 miles, right? Randomly, right? But you're not a runner from my understanding.
No.
But one morning you're like, screw this, I can do this. And I don't need water either.
Right.
Right. And so those kind of spurts, you are like, wow, I'm going to achieve something. But all you're really doing is, one, you're saying, I hate doing this. It sucks. Someone has to come rescue you on the side of the road, probably your wife.
She did. Actually, I was going to say, this is a true story. So I called her and I said, I'm having a medical emergency. And I was laying on the side of the road, but all the boys came with her to laugh at me. But I did run 15 miles. And I mean, I'm in shape, but I'm not a consistent runner. So,
but see, there you go.
There you go.
Being in shape and being a consistent runner is the same thing on LinkedIn. Well, I am on LinkedIn consistently enough. I'll click in 5-10 minutes a day, but there's no consistency there's a cadence. And the cadence, and by the way, the burnout happens 2 reasons. One, you don't have a cadence, you don't know what you're doing, you don't have a strategy, and you're not getting the results despite a bunch of like, hey, I'm posting twice a day. Why am I getting 3 likes a day? I'm doing all this stuff. Why am I not getting more out of it? So that's burnout from I don't get anything out of it.
Right.
I'm off the platform after a month or 2 or 3. I can't do it anymore. The second burnout comes from, holy crap, I'm getting results, but I can't keep doing this 100 comments and 200 likes a day for God knows when, because I can't maintain this. That's burnout 2. And then there's burnout 3. I got the engagement. I'm consistent. It's working. What do I do with these likes and comments? Yeah. Great. I don't have a system to convert them because I'm so burnt out from commenting all day. I don't even know which way to go right now and who to comment on and who to contact about what we want to talk about, because I don't even know if I'm getting the right people. So there's all of these systems that they all are congruent. It's like building a house, right? LinkedIn people that come on, they want the penthouse. They want to rent out the penthouse. They want to live in the penthouse, but they don't have a foundation. They don't have a garage. There's no elevator that goes to the top.
Right.
So they look at the people that are sitting at the top. And listen, we haven't talked about something very important: comparing your profile to others who are rigging the system with VAs or groups of people that are engaging pods, right? Yeah. That are liking people's comments 1,000 times and just doing random comments and making it look like their profile is so cool. And you're like, oh my God, how do I ever get to that? Well, listen, most of LinkedIn is cheating. There's just because most people are humans. They can't do what it takes to genuinely get those types of results. And if you want to see genuine profiles, look at somebody's profile that has 80,000 followers. There's, blue badge people, and their average is 130 to 200 likes on 80,000 followers. Those are people doing it the legitimate way. That's what you get on LinkedIn, because remember, most people aren't on the platform. And that's right. The thing. There's 1 billion people, but they're not all on the platform. Just like gyms, they sell 5,000 memberships. How come it's never packed?
Right. And they're banking on it. And I love the gym comparison. So, and that's exactly what this is. So consistency doesn't necessarily mean you have to like direct parallel to frequency, right? You don't have to be on there 5 hours every day for the rest of your life. It's better to be consistent. We talk about the compound effect. So doing the little things every day over time to make a big impact. So if you race to build a skyscraper in a week, it's going to fall down and you're going to burn out and you won't accomplish it. So building your LinkedIn brick by brick, floor by floor is the way to build a sustainable profile. Because a lot of people do mix consistency and frequency and volume, right? It's not volume. And so I think it's really important, just as we're, kind of recapping where we are. And again, what I've done, and it's what a lot of people do out there. And it's why you're now a part of the House of Bricks, because your digital footprint right now, it's the most valuable real estate that you can invest in is your digital footprint. That's the best house you can buy is a digital one, because it can scale exponentially if it's built in the right way. So I outsourced it to someone else and we were just posting. They learned my voice. They could post as me, but then we weren't engaging in a real, well, the next step was engaging. So what we did was went in on commented on posts. Oh, hey, great post. Well said. Cool. Whatever, all these kind of, anyone could comment on. And so we still didn't get any engagement because it wasn't real. Then we purchased an automated sequencing program for $3,000 to $5,000 a month that was just creating these nurture sequences. That's every snake oil salesman's favorite strategy, is like, let's set up a nurture sequence and just get them in the funnel and they convert. Well, guess what? They don't get in the funnel and they don't convert. And if they do get in the funnel, you're filling it with trash. And so it wasted a lot of time, a lot of money. And again, it's not just the investment. Of course, I can afford to do it cash wise, but time is our most valuable asset. And I lost 9 to 10 months of opportunity. And so I now, want to talk about just some foundational steps that, because we've identified a massive problem that I think everyone watching here, including me today, still struggling. What are some practical first steps that people can take?
Well, the first step is you got to be on the platform. Like there's some interesting numbers if you think about it, right? There's about four, I think it's there's 4.4 billion people currently that are, I'm sorry, there's 3.4 billion people in the world that have no internet at all. Of the people on the internet, right, that have access to the internet, whatever the 4+ billion, of them, 25% are on LinkedIn. That's a big number, right? I don't think there's anywhere where people are. I'm not sure if Facebook has more people or not.
It
But
does. Yeah.
it does, right? But Facebook is a toy. It is a place people go to hang out and play. So the engagement on Facebook is a hell of a lot more, which is why LinkedIn is turning into a very gamified, simple thing like, oh, look, there's videos, reels, all that other stuff, which a lot of the old school people like you and me are like, look, we don't need this here. We're here to talk to great people, meet great people. So the first practical step is don't think LinkedIn is, well, I only use it when I need to get a job. And then for people who are on it, business owners, I use it when I need to find a salesperson. I post or whatever else. I'll post on it and just hope people like it. Another problem is people's profiles are just not complete. And most people don't know this because most people haven't trained on it. LinkedIn is a system. It's a tool. It's a strategy. It is something to know. No different than C++. No different than Sandler sales training, no difference than going to law school. It is a robust, company. It is a system that you have to know and understand. And if you know and understand it, I would show people the things I've done through LinkedIn to accomplish whether personal or business related tasks and goals. People can't believe the things that I was able to do with LinkedIn because I know how to use the systems and this platform. And the problem is you need to have multiple tools incongruent with the platform to maximize it. So a good LinkedIn profile, having it up to date, making sure that you have really good photo of yourself and not something that's like a selfie, taken from the bathroom, or worse, a reflection of a picture of you holding the phone of a selfie in the bathroom.
Right.
Like LinkedIn is a place where people are going to look at you, and it's basically like a billboard on the highway. When you drive by a billboard on the highway, think about what you see and what attracts you to that billboard. It's not going to be something where somebody is, you got no profile picture, you got no banner. That isn't step one. And that's why you see the biggest amount of people doing business on LinkedIn are profile optimizers. I'll give you a banner. I'll give you your thumbnail pictures. I'll make sure your profile is optimized and all that other jargon and all that other stuff. That's all. That's great. But that stuff takes a minute. I can walk somebody through the LinkedIn profile, say, do this. There's no reason to pay people thousands of dollars for this.
Yeah, and you can get a great AI photo, right, from that company you recognize. Don't go hire a professional photographer. Just get a good photo of yourself. And someone just messaged like, great, Adam. Thanks for telling me all the things I'm doing wrong. What are you going to do to help? So everyone's afraid of talking about services they provide. Like, we offer things at the House of Bricks that add value. And if you want to participate, join our community, be a part of our LinkedIn boot camp, I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't tell you. I started this with how I lost 100 grand. Well, now I have a plan to make $1 million in the next year doing things the right way. So if you're interested in learning more, you can DM me, Michael. Paul can, drop a link in the chat, but just making you aware of some of the things that we're doing. So profiles, number one, get a good picture, get a good banner. Then so now I've got that. Let's just imagine I have a good profile. What do I do the next day? And we're not going to get into everything on this call, but I want to give people some action they can take. What 3 most important things they can do once they have an optimized profile?
Well, picture, make sure that picture is friendly and you're smiling. Very important to smile in the picture.
Michael's one of the few people I let haze me. So we'll take votes in the chat if you like my LinkedIn profile. Look, entrepreneurship is hard. Smiles are earned for me. I'm laughing now. We're having a good time, but you got to get in the house to see me smile. So there you go.
You know what it is too. You probably should have like dollar signs, like, like people in jail that have those teardrops. You should have dollar signs of all the money you've wasted and killed. Like right here. Just tattooed right underneath your eye, dollar bills. Look, so profile, Make sure it's optimized. That stuff is easy. As a matter of fact, when people reach out to me, I would never charge people for something like this because that stuff doesn't move the needle. It's like you open up the door to something that doesn't mean anything. It's just the starting point. So that stuff takes minutes to do. There's a lot of amazing people online for $150. They'll give you a profile banner. They'll give you their nice little thumb links for your featured section. So that's one. Two, make sure your profile has all the things turned on. Featured section. I see profiles all the time that literally have their job, college, and that's it. Oh, don't let your profile be boring. That stuff is important. People want to be able to look at your profile. Think about SEO and advertising, right? You want people to get as much time on your profile as possible. Then if they have it on your profile, they're going to click on things that are interesting. Oh, wow, he's part of the House of Bricks. What the hell's a House of Bricks? That's how we go in YouTube world, right? You click on a video, you watch it, then it recommends something else. You go watch it. Before you know it, you've lost 6 hours of your life. It sucks you in. That is what the profile needs to do. Wow, I like this picture. It's really good looking. Oh, that's a cool banner. Wow, that's a really cool featured section. Another thing that's very important, underutilized. I actually did a LinkedIn Live about this some months ago, 6 months ago, I think it was, and I was talking about these things. Go look at people. You know where I go? Most people go to the featured section. The first place I go on every profile, and I'm telling you all right now, and you'll see, go on mine, and you'll be like, wow, I guess he means what he says. Recommendation section. I go straight down and go, oh, this guy thinks he's big shit. He's trying to sell me something. Let's see who else thinks so. No recommendations. Well, okay, maybe there's a website. Oh, there's no website on his profile. Don't see that. All I see is book a call with me. I'm an expert in XYZ. I will 10x your business in the next 13 minutes. But you have no one else that thinks so on your profile, or you don't even care to get them to say so. So right off the bat, guys, listen, I am an antagonist. I will find something wrong with everything because I think everything can be improved. That is my status quo. That's my benchmark. It's not because I'm negative. It's because I believe that everyone can do better. If you reach out to me and you're offering, by the way, and Adam, this is actually true. It happens to me 5 times a week where somebody reaches out offering me lead gen services.
Right.
They offer it to me. That's like somebody offering you a startup course. Read my profile. Like it says not only the fact that I teach sales, but look at my background. I got 20 years of sales experience. My last corporate role was a C-level executive, head of sales. Don't offer me lead gen services. And I look at your profile and you got no featured section. You got a banner that's basic and you have like 2 likes a post. What are you going to help me with lead gen when lead gen requires you to have engagement on LinkedIn, understanding the platform, and actually you can't say you're an expert if your profile is half-assed. Like you can't be an expert in one thing. You could have to be an expert in everything. LinkedIn expertise, like me, I know 50% of what there is to know on LinkedIn. I don't know everything. But what I do know is when I look at someone's profile, I could tell you everything wrong with it in 2 minutes. That is something that experts, after making a lot of mistakes, they can go in and see all the mistakes that other people are making because they have made them. I did it. I was 17 years on LinkedIn of nonsense. I didn't do anything. You could look at my LinkedIn. I've shown people the chart. I showed you the chart. It was literally a flat line. I had posts. I had everything I tried to do on LinkedIn. I never did the right things. So that's probably the biggest thing is once you have that profile, once you have that positioning, what is your strategy? And it's not, okay, I want to get likes and engagement and then I'll figure it out. You have to start at the foundational level. Before you can build the skyscraper and go to the penthouse, you have to know what you're going to do floor by floor by floor by floor. What's going to happen? What are you going to do? Everything's got to be House of Bricks, not House of Cards. That is important. And most people don't do this because they've never taken the time to learn it. And by the way, no one wants to take the time to learn it. So what do? This guy's reaching out. He's promising me leads. That's great. But the problem is those people look at their sales background. If somebody's offering you lead gen is a joke. It is easy to do. I'm saying it right now. If anybody on LinkedIn wants to hate me on this, call me out publicly. MQL is a joke. I will do it in my sleep, 1,000 a month if you want. It's a joke. Marketing qualified leads they want to talk to me about something or anything. It means nothing. Process to get them to SQL, which is sales qualified, that say, yes, we are speaking today about this thing that I know you do. I'd love to hear about it. That, guys, that doesn't happen in the thousands. That doesn't happen in the hundreds. It takes thousands. If I went through what I've done for the last 3 months with the House of Bricks and the conversations I've had to get to where we are today, people would probably say, that's not worth it, man. That is not worth it. But that's what it takes. You cannot ignore sales process and execution in exchange for magic. LinkedIn is not a magic platform. Algorithms aren't magic. They're science. Science plus sales plus strategy equals the other S, success. So here I say it. Success equals science plus strategy plus sales execution. SSS equals S. That's it. Without any one of those components, I don't care what you do. Show me a profile with 1,000 likes and I'll show you a guy that's sitting there going, I have no idea what to do with these likes. I've talked to gurus that have them, by the way, that said to me, I have all this engagement. I need to get a job. And you know what he did? He got a job because LinkedIn doesn't deliver revenue. He said to me, my likes aren't paying my Amex bill for some reason.
Yeah. And that's, as we wrap up here, I want to be conscious of people's time. And listen, we could have 10 hours of these calls just to even get people started. There's a lot of work to start the process, to continue the process. And then the most important thing you just said, which is how to monetize the process. So great. You've got connections now, you've got likes, you've got engagement, but how do you turn your relationship capital into financial capital? And we won't be able to solve that today, but I've seen this as well. People get too focused on LinkedIn. They join the pods, they join these LinkedIn, communities, groups, whatever it is. And then they're spending 8 to 10 hours on LinkedIn. They're burning out and then they're not running their business. So there's a lot of people that are successful in this world that aren't on LinkedIn, but why not add it as part of your strategy? So Michael, I want to thank you for your time today. Thank everybody for joining. Actually, this was one of our most attended events because it's a real problem that people are facing and they just don't have the answers. I did not title this event, How to 10X Your Business in 30 Days Using LinkedIn, because it does not work. It is a strategic process. You need a strategy, accountability, discipline, and that's all things that we talk about at the House of Bricks. I want to thank everybody for sharing their time today. Michael, thanks for sharing your expertise. If you want to connect with Michael on LinkedIn, I suggest you do it. You can look at his profile for some best practices. I'm still working on mine, getting some guidance, from him and having my own accountability and discipline within the House of Bricks in order to optimize my profile and all of our team. So thank you everybody for joining, and we will see you next week on our House of Bricks Live. Thank you. Thanks, Michael.